Alright guys, what is going on? I've been asked this question so many times that I'm surprised I have not made a video about it. A video at least dedicated to the subject. I've talked about it in quite a few videos, but most of my videos are long and sometimes not everybody's going to see this particular subject brought up on these longer videos. So let's just tackle the question directly. I get asked frequently, what is the best bottled water to buy from the store? And I personally, I do not suggest you buy any spring water. I suggest you do not buy any bottled water that, let me just lock Luna up because there's some other dogs here, you guys, so just bear with me 1 second. I don't suggest, I'm not going to name any names, but I think you can catch my drift. If you go to the store and go to the area where, you know, the bottled water is, a lot of that stuff is crap. And a lot of the companies, ladies and gentlemen, that bottle that water, they have close to zero integrity. They might even be negative, beyond zero, past zero in terms of integrity. So again, I'm not going to name any names, but there's documentaries out there. There's a lot of information out there about these specific bottled water companies that just they do some really shady shit to not only get the water, but it's all overpriced, you name it. And the packaging is garbage. It produces way too much plastic. You know, even if you're recycling it, it's kind of unsustainable and just kind of ridiculous. So the only bottled water that I would suggest that you buy from the store is distilled water. You can get, and I know that it still comes in a plastic bottle, and that's not ideal, but you get a lot more water per gallon in a plastic jug, a 1 gallon jug, than you do, you know, like buying like a 36 pack of prepackaged water bottles that are in plastic. So although I don't suggest you buy bottled water from the store, what I really mean is like all the individually packed stuff, the big cases. If you're gonna buy water, buy distilled water in gallon jugs. Take it home. They're usually less than $1. So, I mean, you get a lot of water for $1. And if you go to places like Walmart, you can even get distilled water for, I think, here in Virginia for a while, it was like 86 cents, maybe even cheaper. So I can get a lot of distilled water for $5. I can get about a little over 5 gallons, maybe, I don't know, depending on the price. And I can take that home and I can put some pieces of shungite in each of the containers. I can print out some Flower of Life pictures and tape them to the jugs, or ideally what you'll do is you'll have like a glass carboy or a big glass container, and you'll store your store-bought distilled water in the glass jug. And then what I would do is, once it's in the glass jug, spin it around to aerate it. Of course, when I start making these videos, there's got to be some obnoxious noise, but spin the bottle around, add some air to it, bless it, do some Reiki on it, rub your hands together and bless the water. You can add some minerals back to it, but if you're just getting started to this and you want to make some really powerful distilled water with store-bought distilled water, just take your distilled water, put it in a glass jug, put a Flower of Life logo on it or something special to you, a symbol, maybe it's an Ankh or a Gnostic cross, an encircled cross, or a macrocosmic snowflake, whatever speaks to you. A rose, which symbolizes the sacred space of the heart. Put a symbol that means a lot to you on your water jugs. Bless it. Add some shungite if you need it, or if you can get a hold of it. I have real shungite that I can part with for a price. Just put your email down in the comment section. I'll do my best to get a hold of you. But again, for $5, you get a giant thing of quality water. And yeah, distilled water leaches plastic to some extent. So when you buy distilled water from the store that's been sitting in plastic, you're going to have some of those residues left over. That's why I want you to add the shungite to the water, because shungite, the carbon content, the fullerenes, is going to neutralize some of that. And you can also run it through a filter. You can take store-bought distilled water and run it through a filter. Now, I've done quite a few tests on store-bought distilled water, and most of the stuff is still 0 total dissolved solids, 0 parts per million. It's incredibly clean in comparison to tap water. It's incredibly clean in comparison to the spring water that you're buying from the store, which was taken from God knows what spring that had God knows what mineral content. The water might be incredibly hard, and a lot of you guys need softer water. You don't need water filled full of material. That's what hard water is. Hard water has all of the chlorine, the chloramines, the mineral content, the disinfectant byproducts, the algicides, the limes, the cobalts, pesticides, you name it. Now, you're probably not going to get a whole lot of that in spring water, but spring water more often than not has a lot of minerals in it. And unless you know what minerals are in that water and at what ratios, I don't think you should be drinking it. Distilled water allows you to get the water down to H2O, 0 parts per million, 0 total dissolved solids, which is basically like just empty water. Now, once you get that water, you program it. You program it with intention. You program it with crystal energy. I prefer shungite because of the fullerene compounds and a handful of other benefits of which we've talked about extensively in past videos. You bless it with your own energy. You bless it with symbols. You bless it with moonlight. Take your shungite water, take your distilled water, put it in a glass container, which you can find those for really cheap at like Goodwill stores. When there's a will, there's a way, you guys. Come on. Take your water, put shungite in it, take your distilled water, spin it around, vortex it, bless it, and then put it in moonlight overnight. And hopefully where you are, it's cold, so that you can drink that moonlight enhanced water by the time you wake up. Because cold shungite water that's been blessed by your own intentions in the moonlight will invigorate you and bring you back to life. This is, in my opinion, an elixir. There's only a few potions that I've experimented with for a prolonged period that proved to have massive merit. Shungite distilled water that's been restructured by the moon is remarkable. It will go into your system. It'll clean up debris. It'll allow your cells to communicate better with one another. And you have over, in my opinion, 100 trillion cells. When you clean your cells up by giving your body cleaner fluid, they communicate better, your cells do. And now your mind works quicker. You have better cognitive processing. You have enhanced verbal fluency, a greater outlook on life. You also start to see things that you normally couldn't see. It starts to remove the waste in your system that's bogging your system down. Distilled water is an elixir, but it has to be created properly, because once you get distilled water, that's just blank water. And I don't recommend ever just drinking any type of fluid without enhancing it with your own intentions, with the moonlight, with, shungite, a handful of other things. I'm just barely scraping the tip of the iceberg with these suggestions, folks. I make water in a million different ways, and you should too. Use your own creativity, tap into your intuition, tap into that childhood mentality that you had when you were younger. Use your imagination. Use the placebo effect, which is just the real power of your subconscious mind. I hate calling it a placebo. We know that the mind is incredibly powerful, and that if the subconscious is given the right information via belief, it can move mountains for you. That's why people can be given a fucking sugar pill and they can heal things. It was the belief that told the subconscious mind to heal the problem. What do you think happens when you heal? The subconscious mind tells your body what to do. What you feed your subconscious mind dictates how your subconscious mind reacts and influences your physiology. So I'm not going to repeat myself. We've gone over this time and time again. Use your imagination. Get the water back into your system. We really need to, change our oil, so to speak. And that's just a metaphor for water. Your body is a largely aquatic, hydrational sponge filter consciousness machine. You are a spirit weaved to flesh. Start taking care of your flesh, and the greatest way to do that is by caring for the quality of fluids you put into your system. So, to wrap things up, if you're going to buy water from the store, if you cannot afford your own water distiller or proper filtration unit, then the next best step until you can is to buy distilled water from the store that you take home and further purify. You're going to save money. You're not going to produce as much plastic to have to get rid of and recycle. The water's much purer, and you know it's more of a blank slate for you to reprogram than the mineral water. Most people don't need mineral water. They need a flushing before they start putting the minerals back into their system. And I would rather be able to gauge the type and quality of minerals going into my water. I'd rather add them myself than just trust these fucking companies that just say, oh, spring water full of minerals. Okay, which ones? What type of minerals are they? And what else are they mixed with? Distilled water on top of that, if you restructure it with the shungite, etc., it's going to taste incredible, and you're going to want to keep drinking it. I'm going to wrap this one up. I love you all. Again, this is not the most ideal thing to do, but it's 10,000-fold better than what most people are doing. Store-bought distilled water, even though there's some plastic residues, it's about 1,000,000 times better for you than the crap that you drink from your tap water and the crap that you bathe in from your tap water. Peace out. I wanted to personally thank you for watching my videos and contributing to the growth of my channel. I could not do this without you, and your interest in my content is truly what motivates me and fuels my passion for making these videos and spreading my message. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I wanted to remind you that this channel is a free educational tool that is listener supported, and if you would like to donate to my channel and donate to my cause, help make my life a little bit easier and help keep the lights on around here, you can do so by checking out the links in the description box below. There's a handful of not only ways to donate to my channel, but I also have links to different websites and different videos of mine, as well as my Amazon store, where you can check out a plethora of different health-related products that I use and recommend. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your continued interest in my message, and until next time, peace be with you all.